So, Vultures 2 finally released. Fuck yeah, dude. Better late than never, right? Right? Okay. Well, just to give some context, a lot of these songs were played back before Vultures 1 even released during the listening parties he was holding. A lot of them were received very positively by the community, and after Vultures 1 released and they weren't included, they were hopeful tracks for Vultures 2. Even the vocals back then were mostly recorded, which was a rarity for Kanye at the time, seeing as to this day, Donda still has unfinished verses with punch-ins from his producer, Dem Joints. Production for some of these tracks felt mostly finalized as well. You can look at tracks like River, Time Moving Slow. Some of these were the most beloved tracks from this era by the community. Fast forward some months after the radio silence from Kanye and his team, a release date was displayed for Vultures 2, and then later a track list, which the track list they showed was not the one they released the album with. It was pretty close, but it's Kanye, what can you do? A few days later, August 2nd, he started a live stream on his channel for Vultures 2. Oh, the big day's finally here, holy shit, he's dropping Vultures 2! Even more exciting than Donda, holy shit! He dropped Slide a few hours before that as a single too, which I was very excited about. It was one of my favorites from the Vulture sessions, and the released version was nearly unchanged except for a truncated outro. The original he played back during the listening parties had a extended outro. It was like nearly 5 minutes long. I'm not complaining. The truncated outro works a lot better, makes it feel a lot more snappy. Excitement was really fucking high in the community, and with me personally. People were expecting Vultures 2 to easily be a better album than Vultures 1. Well, the stream starts with Slide. Great. No complaints from me. Then, second track, Time Moving Slow. Fucking rough, dude. The cool industrial synths and pulsating drums of the old production done by AOAA were gone and replaced with these poorly mixed, clunky drums and overly loud 808s. The reactions from listeners in the community were not great. Even AOAA, the producer, keep this in mind, liked and pinned comments on his Instagram of people giving their condolences to him for the intellectually impaired Washtier ruining the great production of the songs he worked on. How fucking cooked do you have to be for your own producer to like comments apologizing to you for him ruining their song? Jesus Christ. I feel so bad for AOAA, the producers who worked on this album, Ty Dolla $ign, anyone fucking related to Kanye at this point. Jesus. That's basically how the rest of the album went. Every single one of these adored tracks would end up with some needless reworked production, and it was poorly mixed, and everybody would just be left scratching their heads because there was no reason for any of this shit to be changed. But he wasn't satisfied with only ruining Vultures era songs. There's stuff from outside of Vultures era. Oh boy, can't wait to hear what he picked. As last-minute additions, he added 530, Sky City, and My Soul. Some of the most well-liked leaks in the community. Iconic. You might even know some of these if you're not even into Kanye leaks. Like, you could have just heard them in passing if you're a Kanye fan. He ruined all of these. Every single fucking one. To an unreal extent. Like, you would have to try really hard to make some shit this bad. He literally ripped a 3-year-old demo, 530, right? It's Donda 2 era. He ripped it off YouTube and changed nothing about it. There are literally higher quality versions of that file that we have leaked. He could go download it right now. I'm sure he knows where to find it. But instead, he decided to use YouTube to MP3 instead and have YouTube quality audio on his album. besides that mind-numbing fact, it's unfinished. It's an unfinished 3-year-old demo. There are 3 minutes, like 2 to 3 minutes of mumble on the second half of this track. He could have so easily had Ty record that part. But he didn't. He just downloaded it off YouTube, didn't change a thing, and stuck it on his album like a day before it came out. So, Sky City. That's like one of Kanye's most well-known leaks. It was made back during Yandhi, and it's one of Kanye and Ty's best tracks that they ever made together, right? It's another one of those that you probably know if you're familiar with Kanye, listen to his music, you're a fan, whatever, you've probably seen it before. Kanye and Ty themselves have even said how much they like this track. How do you think he did justice to it? Make an AI verse of his own voice instead of getting his fat ass in the studio and recording? Using 6-year-old unmixed vocals for one of the verses? Having the most muddy production of any version of the song? If you guessed all of the above, you'd be right. Total unmitigated disaster. This shit genuinely hurt as someone who loves Sky City and really wanted it to be released one day. The other one that's not Vultures is My Soul, or Fighting Fires, if you keep up with leaks. It was Donda era. It was also ruined. Instead, the original Donda version of it was drumless. It was a very pretty song. It was about the California wildfires and how prisoners were being used basically as slave labor to fight the fires. Really beautiful, powerful song. Really cool if it would be released one day, right? So, in the Vultures version, he added drums to it, right? Sure, I mean, Vultures has a lot of drums in it, as opposed to something like Donda. Except it's the most unmixed, dog water ass, loud, clunky drums I've ever fucking heard in my life. It's so bad. I was like in disbelief earlier and I was playing it through my phone speaker, and I could tell how badly the mixing was through a phone speaker. There's better mixed versions of this song from Donda era, right? But as I said, those are drumless. It's different production. The main bad part about the production is the drums, right? Whatever. Nope. It's actually worse than that. Somebody in the Kanye community found a better mixed version of the same song without the TC intro or outro in the Yeezy website. In Kanye's fucking website, they found a better mixed version of this fucking song with the same exact drums. What the fuck? How? How do you fuck something up this bad, dude? It's unbelievable. He had a better version of this song uploaded to his website, and he thought that the one on streaming right now was acceptable. My favorite artist, ladies and gentlemen. And speaking of the TC outro, it's fucking horrible. He can't sing. I'm sorry. Like, free TC, horrible what's happening to him, but Jesus Christ, man. It was played through they recorded it through a phone speaker. It's like AI isolated, really obviously. Like, you can hear the AI fuzz behind it. And the instrumental behind it are the most muddy, shitty sounding 808s I think I've ever heard in my fucking life. They're impressively bad. Somehow, none of that even comes close to the funniest fuck up of the album, though. So there's a couple tracks that weren't really known about until the album dropped. Husband and Isabella. They're meant to be a part of the song Lifestyle, right? Cool fun fact, sometimes outros get separated from their songs. I mean, look at Moon off Donda. I mean, I think that was just like a riff off of Hurricane. It was like an outro, and then it kept extending and extending until it became its own song. Cool, right? Whatever. Well, Lifestyle, he forgot to cut out the fucking outro, the husband outro, the one that's a separate track earlier on in the album. It's in the album 2 fucking times. How do you manage to do that? How much fucking nitrous do you have to be huffing on the daily to make a mistake that stupid after delaying this album until fucking August? Let me repeat that. This outro is on the album twice, and he forgot to remove it from the song it was originally on. Oh my god. I fucking hate this man so much. Fuck, dude. I even liked Vultures 1. It seemed like he was on the ball for the first time in years. People will scoff at that, but I really just think, I get it. The shit he said was horrible. I get if your perception of him is shaded by that, I get it. Whatever, right? But it's objectively true that Vultures 1 was much more polished than anything he had put out. Sure, it had rough mixing, but Jesus is King was I would say his most rushed album, but at this point it's not. It was undercooked, it was missing verses. You can look at the demos we have from that era, and there's a huge chunk of them that were all recorded the day before it came out. Trying to desperately finish that hunk of shit, but even the mixes when that dropped were awful. Donda, still to this day, has unfinished verses and is completely censored for no fucking reason. Donda 2 was never completed or released, so all we're left is whatever scraps leak online and a 40% finished demo tape. Oh, and by the way, not a lot of people know this, Donda 2 was meant to be censored too. Yeah, a lot of the later demos from Donda 2 era are censored, which is just fucking wonderful, right? I hate this guy so much. But all that aside, Vultures had finished vocals before it was even released. That's a step up, man. It's completely uncensored. He got his head out of his ass for once. Yeah, it has mixing issues, but fuck, dude, he's had worse mixing issues in the past. Vultures 2 was actually mixed well. The cloned interludes were deleted. The production for shit like Time Moving Slow and River were taken back to what they were months ago. It would easily be better than Vultures 1. All these major tracks smoke the shit out of stuff like Paperwork or Carnival or, some of the less good tracks on Vultures 1. But instead, he just messed it up so badly that it's the worst thing he's ever released. Jesus fuck Kanye. Please do what you did with Life of Pablo to this shit. Please. I would love, maybe one day, to be able to look forward to a new studio album from the artist formerly known as Kanye West with a pure mind and not have to think in the back of my mind, he's gonna ruin this album's gonna suck ass, and I'm gonna have to look forward to the leaks that'll surface after the album releases instead. I just want to be able to enjoy a studio-released Kanye album to its fullest extent and not have to deal with shit like this. Please. Please. Just to end this off, I think best case scenario, if he fixes 80% of the issues with this album, it'll probably be better than Vultures 1. It'll probably be in the upper half of his discography for me. But I don't think I'll ever get this taste out of my mouth from this shit, man. He's never done something like this before. Now, I know people will be like, oh, dude, Donda 2. But Donda 2 was a demo tape. That shit never actually released. It was on the stem player, and it was meant to be continually updated with new tracks. There were new tracks made for it, they were just never uploaded. So all we're left with is less than we got on 2/22/22, and never released on streaming services, never had a wide release, nothing like that, right? Vultures 2 did, though. You can go on Spotify and play that shit right now. You can go on Tidal and play that shit right now. You can go on Apple Music and play that shit right now. You can go on fucking Deezer and play that shit right now. He released it like this. He's not ever done something like that before. Nothing to this extent. Fuck, dude. He might be washed. My goat might be washed at this point. I'm still gonna keep a little faith, though. I'm not gonna lie to you. I still have to keep the faith. You gotta trust the artistic vision that Kanye will fix the album, and this will all be a part of the rollout, right? Right? Anyway, thanks for listening to me rant and rave about this massive pile of dog shit. I guess. See ya. Free fat money till it's backwards, baby.
Hey, Kanye West, fucking fuck you, Kanye West, fuck you. Vultures 2 was supposed to drop this fucking night. It's fucking 12 a.m. It was supposed to drop at 12 a.m. It's 12:13 right now. 12:13 EST a.m. It was supposed to drop at 12 a.m. But it fucking didn't. Fuck you, Kanye. Fuck you. I fucking hope you. Fuck you, Kanye. Fuck you. $10 sign. You too.